On June 22nd, 2022, our family was in line for the Today Show while on vacation in New York City when our 14-year-old daughter, Anna, had a seizure. While I sat there feeling helpless, her little brother, only 10 at the time, called 911. 10 days later, she had a second seizure. The following week, she was diagnosed with epilepsy. The diagnosis came with no information, not a flyer, a pamphlet, or any resources. Our daughter wasn't even given time to process the news and ask questions. Even if she had questions later, we did not know the answers. Overnight, our outgoing, bubbly daughter became a different person. She couldn't be left alone as her first medication made her depressed and very angry. She struggled to understand what was going on with her. She did not want to talk about it and did not want to tell her friends. She wanted to ignore it and just take her medication. I cried every day for 2 months on the way to and from work so the kids wouldn't see. It was hard enough to watch her struggle, but I also did not know how to help her brother understand what was going on. When I felt like I would never find my way out of this dark place, I found the Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan. They were there for our family when we needed it most. They provided not only hope, but information and resources we so desperately searched for. When I first spoke with Shannon, she stayed on the phone with me until I felt like I had every ounce of information that I needed. I felt heard, understood, and comforted, and for the first time in months, hopeful for Anna's future. Anna had a hard time finding the best doctor and the best medication that controls her seizures and still makes her feel like herself. Anna embraced the Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan as well, though. They empowered her to have a voice and provided her the tools to understand what was going on with her. They also showed her how she could help others. 3 months after her diagnosis, she started high school and joined Student Senate. She saw the action they take planning events for the community and decided to plan a fundraiser to build awareness and support the Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan. She raised almost $8,500. She also brought staff from the foundation to our town to speak to 2 Rotary clubs, and she shared her story publicly for the first time. A couple months later, she planned a seizure first aid training for the community, bringing in almost 60 people who had never received any formal training or information, including our family and her little brother. She's gone on to make a Team for Stroll for 2 years now. Our family embraces Stroll as a time to educate friends and show Anna that she has a huge team by her side in this journey. The Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan has given us our confident, outgoing daughter back and strengthened her ability to be a leader. None of this would be possible without them. Having her confidence back has allowed her to take on big things since her diagnosis, like getting her driver's license and becoming an all-state wrestler, not once, but twice. In August of 2024, Anna celebrated 2 years seizure-free. We know she'll have challenges in the future, but our family knows that with the Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan by our side, we can make it through difficult times.
Epilepsy started for me when I was 6 months old. My first seizure was caused by a fever. I'd have clusters of 3 to 5 seizures at least once a week. On bad weeks, I'd have up to 15. These episodes affected my ability to function in everyday life. I found myself constantly waiting for a seizure to occur since these seizures were not controlled by medicine. After about 1.5 years of trying to maintain a productive life while dealing with uncontrolled seizures, my neurologist referred me to an epileptologist at a level 4 epilepsy center. The first meeting with the doctor was overwhelming. He started with a statistic that after the 3rd anti-seizure medicine, any additional medicine had a less than 5% chance of being able to manage seizure activity successfully. I was already on my 4th medicine. Hearing that, I thought there was no way of beating epilepsy. I found myself losing hope. He then informed me that my best chance of becoming seizure-free was to consider surgery. My epilepsy team decided that the RNS system would be the best option for me because my seizures originated from my left and right hippocampus in my brain. both of which were my memory centers. If we were to do a lobectomy, I may have lost portions or all of my memory. Therefore, we decided to move forward with the RNS option. Prepping for my first surgery did not really put too much stress on me. Honestly, I was more nervous about my wedding 3 weeks later. The procedure was very quick and for me painless. I was out of the hospital within 24 hours. Although it helped reduce the quantity and severity of the seizures, they still remain drug resistant. After collecting 5 years worth of data, my epilepsy team recommended I consider getting a second RNS device, which was placed in 2021. I do not have auras, so I rely on family, friends, and coworkers to tell me the time of my seizure so I can manually make a note of on my calendar to mark the time. Then, when I'm at the doctor, I can talk about the activity I am having and compare what we are seeing. I've also tried to see the positive side of things instead of focusing on the negative. My journey with the epilepsy has brought my family closer together and has improved my outlook and appreciation for life. I use ride sharing and public transportation to be more independent. My family uses grocery delivery and pharmacy delivery to make things more convenient and less stressful. The foundation has helped me out a lot. Annually, I do the stroll at the zoo with my family. I go to them with any questions or concerns I may have outside the medical office, and they will direct me in the right direction. They have helped me out a lot, and I try to be a helping hand where I can. They have been a great resource for new treatments. With all of the events that they hold, we can go out and network with some of the new and upcoming treatments. They've been a great support team with me with my weekly epilepsy call and connect line, resources for quality of life issues, and all the procedures and new medications that I have been taking. Also, they have helped with being a great support team with me in my office. So in return, I've become an ambassador with the foundation, a member of the Sunshine Committee, and try to help out where I can.
My name is Manya, and I am a person living with epilepsy. I was diagnosed when I was 16 years old, and my life has changed in many, many different ways. I had my first seizure when I was working as a poll worker for the 2020 election. I don't remember much from that day. However, all I do remember is waking up in an ambulance and being taken to the ER. I was treated as though I'd passed out because it was never conveyed to the doctors that I had had a seizure, but they encouraged me to follow up with neurology just in case. I met with my neurologist. We ran an EEG and an MRI. The EEG had a small spike in it. However, because there was no confirmation of what had happened that day, we decided the best course of action at the time was to wait it out and hope for the best. About 6 months later, I had a second seizure, and this was at a volleyball tournament. I met with my neurologist once again and was given the diagnosis of epilepsy and put on medication immediately. That was about 3 years ago, and I am very, very lucky that I responded to medication well and have been seizure-free for over 3 years now. However, this diagnosis has brought me so many things in my life that I am forever grateful for, especially the relationships that I've created, both in the epilepsy community, but also at the Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan. I've had the honor and privilege to work very closely with every single person in the foundation, and for that I am forever grateful. I am so glad that this community of people comes together and fights for one mission, and I am so grateful to be a part of this community and consider all of you to be like family.